same way. I was probably about 10, 15 minutes every time. We got to get to where we just hit it every time from the beginning. I got to get on it.
It's all right. We're learning.
Okay, Robin, we're learning greetings that we should have been doing. I'm waiting on a PDF right quick that didn't show up to my email. As soon as it did, I'm going to share it. And so, email. And so, anyway, we're talking about a man's greeting is aho. Aho. That means hello. And a woman's equivalent is vatia. Vatia. Some people say dadia, but it's not. It's datia with a T sound. Vatia. And that literal translation means it's like saying, "Oh, you came, or you arrived." That's what it literally means. But that's the equivalent of a woman to say vatia. You know, like your wave, like you're saying hello. And then also we're talking about saying greetings like Eontnia. Eontnia. And I think that we're just going to have to, I think we're just going to stick to that single, how are you greeting? There's multiple greetings like that, but just so that you guys can get familiar to say it one way. How do I get it on here on this share screen? Show me. Okay, it finally got here. This one, good. Push it. I don't know. The email's right here. I know that. No, that little one. Envelope. Oh my God. It's not out here. Again? Okay, I'm just doing this right now. You're going to have to accept it on my phone. It went to my device. 10. And like I said, Robin, we're learning the greeting, but there's multiple ways to say how are you.
Tatia.
That right there means hello in a woman's way. 10. And so when you say aunt means like how is it? And then you say ni, it means you. Ah is a question mark. Now it says in all real translation means how are, and like I said, real translation means aunt means how is it? Ni means you, like personally you. And then the or wa is a question marker. So when you say aunt, that means how are you?
Yeah.
Oh, these ain't the ones. 6. And so there's multiple ways to say that, but I think we should stick with one way until we get a little bit more comfortable with the language.
Yeah.
And then you could answer da bli. Da means good, bli means I am. So da bli means I'm well or I'm good.
Dably.
But like I said, most men say da mambliho.
Da mambliho.
Yeah, da mambliho.
Da mambliho.
Yeah.
Eagle Rob, what was the old way you say that people don't use much anymore? Uda ani.
Oh yeah, we keep. When somebody else gets on, I keep getting sidetracked here. And so, can you guys see it?
Here, look.
So the old way to do it is uda g. Oh. So when you say uda means good. When you say the real word is naji, means to walk. But when you say anaji, it means I walk. Oh is a masculine word, so you say Udamanagio. That means I'm standing. I mean to stand. Excuse me. That means I'm walking makes a stand. So when you say Anagi means I'm standing. So when you say that, Anagi means I'm standing good. Like whatever I'm doing, I'm standing up in my way of life, and it's good.
I like that one.
And that's something that we're gonna have to bring back. Okay, so the one way that the men don't do no more is Anagi. And that's what we're gonna bring back. But a woman always says Udabli. And like I said, there's only one time in my life that I heard a woman say Udabli without the whole.
There's a delay on the microphone. It's very difficult to understand.
I thought it was just me. Thanks for saying something, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I don't know when you turned the laptop if it covered up the microphone or did something to cover up the microphone hole on the laptop. Maybe, I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Not well.
Now we're on the share board. Can you see them?
Now we can hear you well. Don't see.
Show me what I do.
You should be able to share your screen from the bottom of that little laptop down there at the bottom of the thing.
Okay.
And then when you hit that button, whatever you have on your actual screen in front of you will all pop up for all of us to see.
Can you see it? Well, you got my Cash App and everything. So
Yep.
See your
Okay.
email.
Here, take a
always you.
screenshot. No.
That's it.
Okay, right here. That's not. Okay, we can start. These are Ponca articles in our language, and all these articles. You see that one that says "a call," the very first one.
Actually, we're just seeing email, or at least that's all I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing too is your email.
Okay, let's go back. Hold on.
I see those 4 files though from Connie on there.
I know, but I didn't know how to get to it at first. Okay, so go to that first one and go to Connie. It's not even on there. Okay, here we got them PDFs now. Click on the whole thing. I'm gonna go back because I don't want to be on this one. This is later. They need to learn this other stuff. Can you guys see them now?
No.
No, we just see the email still.
Maybe if you stop sharing and then reopen it with the PDF selected.
Yep, that's what I would say too.
Good. Can you see that? So don't share it yet.
No, we don't see
I
that.
don't see J, Eagle.
Okay, now what? Oh, we're gonna try it another way. Can you see it now?
Nope.
That's the share button right there. It already shows that we can share it though, so we'll click on it. Why isn't it doing it?
Is this one where you can pull something out to show it's saved to the computer?
Is there any way that Robin? Is there any way that we could pull something up to show what's saved on my computer?
Yeah, you should be able to, when you do the share, you're going to get, because I'm kind of walking it right now. When you do the share, it comes up and you should either have entire screen window or Microsoft Edge tab. It's what's coming up for me. Are you using a Windows machine or are you using a Mac?
It's the name Ponca. Let's put Ponca on it.
Windows should be if you have a second file. So if you have your web screen and then if you have like a document, you would go to Window and then select the document that's open and then share that.
Right. The problem with that is if you open multiple documents, you have to reshare each one. So generally speaking, it's a smarter idea to share your whole screen. Then that way, as you open up things, you just keep seeing the different documents on the screen. So when you open up what to share, you probably want to choose entire screen and then pick the one where the documents are. If you've got two screens, either screen one or screen two.
Just listen to what she says.
So like if I do that and I say share, then everybody sees me sharing my screen, right? Of you guys.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's me sharing the whole screen. So then if I open a document or if I pull, like I have the whiteboard open and I pull it on the whiteboard, do you see the whiteboard now?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's ultimately what you need to do, Eagle, is you need to, when you click on that share down there, and I just stop sharing so that you can do it. You should be able to click on that share screen, and then you're going to have 3 tabs. It's going to say entire screen, window, or edge, and you want to do entire screen. And
Can
then,
you try one more time? We were downloading something a while ago.
okay. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on share screen down there by the hand.
Yeah.
And it should pop up and say choose what to share.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to keep going piece by piece on that. He was telling another way because the other lady said the same thing where we could get a multiple screen. We have to keep opening it. That's what the other woman was saying. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do it like that way, I guess. Okay, these right here, possessive pronouns in Ponca. As you can see, when I say mine, you have a mine singular and a mine plural. Okay, on that mine singular, it's just wita. And then that mine plural is wiwita. And then we're going to go down to the yours, is singular and plural, is dita. Didita. Third person singular is etai. Third person singular is etai. Third person plural is theirs. Etai bluga. And then ours is angutai. Let's go to these other ones. Do you guys want to screenshot that or anything before I change it?
Please, one moment.
Over the pronunciation again, just read through those again, please.
From the top to the bottom, the first one is wita. The second one is wiwita. That was mine plural. And then your singular, dita, like you're saying, I love thee. Dita. Yours plural is didita. Now, third person singular is his, hers, or its is etai. Third person plural is etai bluga. Now, there's another way to say that, but in the beginning, I wanted you guys to learn one way so I don't confuse you. There's another way I'm just gonna say it. It's etai glutba. Etai glutba. But the way I didn't write it down because I don't want you to get mixed up in it, but it's etai bluga. Etai bluga. And ours is angutai. Angutai. Angutai.
Are you saying for the theirs, are you saying bluga?
Bluga. Bluga.
Okay. Like blue whale bluga.
Yes, like bluga. Blue whale. Bluga. Etai bluga.
Itai bluga. Okay.
Listen, if you guys don't understand it, we got to go
Is
over.
that
Let's just keep going over it. Huh?
ego?
Hello?
This
Yes.
is Rita. Is what?
Hey, Rita, how you
that?
doing?
How's that spelled? That last? Oh, I'm doing better. I had to get off last night with Ricky, but anyway, I apologize. But
We're
anyway,
praying for you.
ours. What is that? How's that letter spelled? The word
It's a A.
for ours.
It's a A like a regular behind
A.
me. And then
Okay.
it's got that sedilia, that little C that's underneath that vowel. These are what they call nasalized vowels.
Yeah.
And so that little sedilia makes it say
Okay.
like if we didn't have that sedilia, it would be aguta, agutai, agutai, but it's not. It's that little
Okay.
sedilia makes it what they call nasalized. So we say gutai, gutai. So it's angutai, angutai. Uh-huh. And then we'll get into it whenever these possessive pronouns, they also have articles that we're going to put with them in it. But you're not ready for that just yet, but we're going to get there. I'm going to give you an example. Wita, K, or wita, te, wita ma, wita dinke, wita donka. But like I said, those are the possessive pronouns and the article in Ponca. They merge together, and so they make it. Or like you hear some of these our Omaha relatives when, like, if I was to ask you what's your name, I would say Ijaje Dita Ke Ida Da Wa. I'm saying it slow so you can hear the difference. Now our Omaha relatives, they say Ijaje Di Ta Te Ida Da. They pluralize that all the way around. So every time
And we
when
say
you guys,
Ijajua Dikake.
we say you say Ijaje Ditake Ditake.
Itake. Oh,
Ijaje
I always
Ditake.
said it Ijajua. Eagle. Just read
Yes.
it again. I always pronounce. Must have been pronouncing it wrong because I always said Ijajua Dikake.
Igaze. Igaze.
Yeah.
Igaze means name. And so that's how it says
Yeah.
Igaze.
Ijajua Dikake.
I never heard it that way. I don't know it that way. The Idadawan's a
No,
man's way to say it.
that's how I used to say it, but
Okay,
I
okay.
tried learning it the wrong way.
Well, sometimes even me as a young boy, when I heard these old men talking, because I grew up with my great-grandfather and my grandparents home, a lot of times my mom worked and my dad would be drunk. So I always spent time with my great-grandfather and my grandparents. My great-grandfather lived with his daughter, my mom's mom. And there was all pure fluent Ponca. And there's some things that I didn't understand either because, I still grew up first English. But I grew up getting talked to. They'd be like, Gigaho, or they say, Gudiha, Jean Gudiha Malinga, get out of here and go to bed. I always understood it more than I ever heard it. So when I tried to speak it,
Yeah.
as I grew up, I pronounced it wrong because my ear was an English ear. Even though I could still understand them when they're talking to them, or them old men might say, they used to call me Khida Nu Jinga. Edada. They say, Eagle Boy, what you doing? Eagle Boy. That's my nickname. It's Eagle Boy. And so those old men would talk all kind of ways to me, and then you talk to a woman, and she talk different to me. She might say, "Good de Malin, good de Malin," or you might hear another woman say, "Good de Malia, good de Malia," and all she's telling me is, "Get the hell out of here." You know, a little translation means "get out of here," but in in our modern talk, it means "get the hell out of here." For real. And so that's
Yeah.
how I get talked to you when you tease. Because I was little, I would tease them. I'd be like barking at them like a dog. Or I'd be like, in Ponca, when you said, Shani the Vinke, ooh, ega. I'll be barking like a dog at them. That's what I just said in Ponca. And so anyway, they get mad at me when I do that. And so they tell me, get the hell out of there. Some of them older folks, because a lot of them older folks I grew up with, I was blessed to be on. A lot of them were born in the 1800s, and some of them were from up north, from when they got moved down. I was blessed to see that in my lifetime. And some of their Ponca
Yeah.
was a little bit different than modern Ponca today, because it's kind of hard to explain. Because okay, let me give you an example. You're making me think about all kind of stuff from the past. Like if they say, no, they say Niniba, Niniba witache, Niniba witache. My pipe. And then them old ways, you might hear them say, Vlaniba witache. And that real translation is Daniba. But when you're talking about me, you would say, instead of it won't be Daniba, it changes into Blaniba. And then I'll say, Witake, that's my pipe. So the old way to say pipe, they would use this Daniba. And now in modern days, we just say Niniba. And there's a lot of words that change, like when we talk about the star, a star in the sky, or stars in the sky. The old way they say michachpege. Michachpege. Ge means stars. It pluralizes them. They're scattered all over naturally. And today we don't say it like that. Today now we say mikaege, mikaege, and that means the stars. And so our language has took a transfer some 100 years ago, maybe 200 or 300 years ago, or less. And so the dialect, even the modern dialect, is different than what it was to some of the people I heard when they grew up, because it's just like today. My kids talk different English than I talk. It's our language is, how do you say it, evolves. And so that's why our language does. And it's the same way with our Umaha relatives. I speak on them because I spent the most time around them, and I've never been around fluent speakers of the Call or the Osage or the Quapaw. They might. What I mean by fluent speaker, I have never been around them to hear them conversate. Now, I remember when the last fluent speaker of the Kanze, Nyashigama, they had a fluent speaker, and he was the only one that did all the talking, but he was the last of them. He didn't have nobody to talk to. But all them gatherings as punkers, and we all go to them gatherings back when I was little, just to have fun or support. And when you hear them old guys talk, you can still understand a lot of what they say. They've just been away from us so long. And so in the Osage, I've never been. I can't remember one time. Every Osage gathering from the 70s and 80s I went to, and even the 90s I went to, I've always heard Ponca speakers talking there. And then I went to a Osage funeral about 3 months ago, and there was a man that sung in Osage, and that was the first time I ever heard him sing that. But he sung a song that was a Ponca song. They just translated it to Wajaja Iye. And then he prayed in there. But my point, what I'm trying to make is, they were trying their best to revitalize the Wajaja Iye. And that's what we got to do as Ponca people. We have to make that attempt, because you're going to feel like, I'm going to give you one last example so you understand what my next statement is. When I grew up and people older than me grew up, when they were speaking, a lot of people understand it fluently, but to speak it fluently is different. Understanding it fluently and speaking it fluently is different, and it's a fact. It's different. Okay, so when I hear them talk, a lot of times they might just say, "Du bashkana." A man might say, "Du bashkana." He said, "You want some?" And I'm gonna just say, "Yeah, I do," in English, because if I say it right, if my relatives are around, they're gonna get on to me in front of everybody. They're not gonna take me aside. They're gonna say it harshly to me, or my mom will get mad at me, or my grandma got mad at me. So that's why when I'm teaching this pronunciation, when I say it's important, it is important. It's the greatest of importance because I learned the hard way. Just because I grew up around fluent speakers in the home, and everybody that came to see us, they didn't talk English, they talked Ponca. And so just because you could understand what they're saying, but when you attempt to talk back, it was almost like you were scared to even to try because hell, you got ridiculed, you got talked bad to. Oh, you're gonna make me look better. Oh, they think that I taught you the wrong way. And that's how they talk to us down here. There's so many punkers alive today that could tell you that same story, what I just said. Until my elders start telling me, they tell me, grandson, you know how to, you understand what we're saying. Now start talking. Don't be afraid. And that was my grandmother's dying wish. And so for the past 30 years, I've been giving it hell. And I'm not saying I'm always right, but do I know a lot? You damn right I do. I heard it my whole life, and I made the attempt for 27 years. And so am I fluent? Semi at best. Now, can I talk to fluent Ponkas? Yeah, I can say I won't even have a problem talking to them. Now, if they start talking so rapidly, you have to pay attention. Even me, once you start being around them, if I say, "Oh, hey, they won't get there," yeah, do ba, and I still said it kind of slow. But once you start talking more rapid, it starts to merge. And once it starts merging, you got to have your ears open and pay attention, because otherwise you're going to miss what they're saying. And then they might say it again. Ie, do, ba, egi, pe, com. But ain't nothing wrong with that because that way you're going to understand it. And all you're saying is, I want to say a few words, is what I just said to you. And then somebody might nod their head and they might say, shunt. That word shunt has so many meanings, believe me. And when we get to that word, it's going to be fun because there's a lot of ways to do it. Like you hear someone say shunt, it's like, go ahead. Or you might hear someone say, shunt, that's a man's way to say, are you ready? Or Sean, are you ready? And I'm going to teach you guys about 8 different ways to say, are you ready? But Sean was one of the most common, and Kiglish stomp those are the two most common ones that I know. And why Kiglish stomp? Them 3, if there's a 3, that'd be it. And to hurry up, there's so many ways to say things, and I'm going to teach you guys that, but I want you to have that ear to understand. So up that way, more than anything, you might hear Umaha talk to you, and they might look down on you because you're not understanding. And Ponkas are Omaha alike. They'll look down on you for not knowing what they're saying. I had it done to me by an old Omaha woman about 14 years ago because she talked so broken. To me, it was broken. No disrespect to no Omaha if they're listening or part of Omaha or your relatives are Omaha. But they talked so broken that I couldn't understand them. And then, I could tell you one of my relatives that's still alive today, she's 85 years old. She said when she went up to Macy that last time they were talking to her, she said I almost couldn't tell what they were saying. It was so broken. And you have to get to that point where you understand them just by being around them, so you start understanding them. That they're breaking these words in half and they're merging these broken words together. And so you got to think real fast in your mind, like, okay, she just said she's ready to go, and it's really hot in here. Like, damn, I'm ready to get out of here. And just this past year, less than a year ago, I had a lot of Omahas coming to my mother's home because we sweat. And we started our Sundance back in 108 years down here. We finally started our Sundance back, got our bundles back, got our pipe, and got a lot of our songs made, and some of them we used old. But the point what I'm trying to make is them Umaha and Yashikama, they came here to help me. They helped me. They supported me and told me brought me articles. Eagle staff with feathers on it, with buffalo hide on it. They brought me a big buffalo male bull skull with Ponca patterns that my grandfather's patterns. And so they support me. And so don't ever think I'm talking about Omaha. I love them. And a lot of my relatives are part Omaha. And I feel really good when I'm up that way. But they talk different than us. Okay, so back to this, what I'm talking about, and the reason I said that, and I'm talking about these people, these old people, when they did that, is because you just have to really pay attention because the language changed by the slang, and today it's even getting different because when you say thank you, there's 3 ways that people say thank you down here. Weebla, weebla ho, well, 4 ways. Weebla tonga, weebs, weebs, mini weebs, and that's how they talk down here. And some of them are going to talk almost all their Ponca like that way. And most of them today in this generation, they're going to speak with an L. Laich, or laich, laich. And our slang is different than
pitiful,
mine.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Laiche while they's
But
pitiful. And gigahoes, what I've always heard was hurry up, right?
no, gigo means come here.
Oh, come
That's a
here.
man's way to come here or return.
See, we've even used it like, when my grandma used to say gigaho, that means get the hell over here and get this done, or, get going.
Yeah. And that's a man's way to say it. So she probably grew up with men speaking around her with that hole on it. And there's women down here that way too. Today, women in their 70s that say "aho," and people get onto them and all kind of stuff. And I never got onto I ain't gonna say her name, but I got an aunt that says but I got onto my sisters that were saying that, like, say when we get done, like I might say uki la comba aho. I made a statement, said I want to go home, and aho's like I'm done talking. It's slang the way they use it because the real way when you say you're done is shena. Shena means I'm finished speaking. It can only mean I'm finished speaking. Shaitan means something that I'm not part of. Shaitan means it's over. It's the end or the end. Shon pache means I'm finished with an activity. And so you got all these, or I could say blishtant, I'm done. There's a lot of ways that you got to use it, and they got different meanings. So it's really specific and precise in our language. And like I said, we're going to get into it because when we talk about language and words, I could go on for hours talking about it. Oh, let's take a break and let's sing a song. How'd that be?
Eagle, before you do, can I ask a quick question?
Go
What's
ahead.
the difference between mine singular and mine plural? Is that the number of items you're claiming, or?
That's right. Shenu de vinke wita. Or I just said that's my dog.
Okay.
Now, Shenu de donka wiwita. Those are my dogs.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's a good question. Did you guys understand that? Relatives, did you hear her?
Yes,
Ah,
that made sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it goes the same way for yours and singular and plural.
ah.
And it's just like you would say, you could just say Shanu da etai. It's her dog. Shanu da etai. Now you could also say Shanu da vinke etai. It's her dog. You can say it that way or the other way is correct. And now if you're talking about Shanu da vonka etai bluga biatma, they say that those dogs are theirs. They say them dogs are theirs. Shanu da vonka etai bluga biatma. And you don't even have to say donka. You could just say shanu da ma. But when there's plural of a noun that's animate, you have to use these articles because on that one you have to say that. Now somebody might also use a little bit of slang and it still be understood. You would say shanu da etai bluga. But when you say, listen, shanu da etai bluga, the dog is theirs. Shanu da ma. Etai bluga. The dogs are theirs. And you could, instead of saying Shanu da ma, you could say Shanu da donka. Etai bluga. But when you use that word Shanu da donka, it's pluralizing the dogs, but it's pluralizing that them dogs are either laying down or they're sitting down. Our words are really descriptive, and I'm going to teach you that on these next pages. But before we go on, you guys want to go on real quick or take a little break?
Song.
We talked about, okay. You want me to just sing it without a hand drum? I got a hand drum, but I mean, it's however you guys want to do it, with a hand drum or just voice.
Do the drum.
Drum.
Do the drum.
Drum.
Babe, get my hand drum. Who gave Blasco? Oh, Iga. Do that, Iga. We will. I was on phone to get tired. She's really tired. I'm talking about Emily. She was asleep. I had to wake her up. I told her to give me my drum. Thank you. I told her to get my hand drum. This song right here in Ponca, this is one genre that the Umaha don't have, and I asked even their old ones, and they don't have it. This is called Igaze. There's some people call it Igaze, Igadize, won't. Igazi or Igadize, won't. Those two names both have reference to these songs that are ancient in our culture. Okay? And this song, when I was gone all them years, I used to sing that song. My nose is stuffed up. Hang on 1 second. Take my glasses off and get prepared. Yo hey yo yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey oh hey yo hey yo hey yo hey hey yo hey yo hey yo yo hey yo hey yo yo hey yo hey hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey oh hey yo hey yo hey hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey Yo ho way hi yo hi yo ho way yo hey Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, Yahweh. Oh, Damashe, Shinga, Witaga, Hambe, hey. Yahweh, highway, hi, yo, where, yo, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, highway, hi, yo, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh. Oh, Damashe, Jinga, Witaga, hey. Yahweh, highway, hi, yo, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, hi, Yahweh, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh. Hey, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh. Ane, hi, Hagisido, me, hey. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh. Hey, hi, Yahweh, hey, hi, Yahweh. Yahweh, hey, hi, Yahweh, hey, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh. Hey, hi, Yahweh, hey, hi, Yahweh, Yahweh. Ane, ha, Yahweh, Gisido, me, oh, hey. Yahweh, ha, Yahweh, ha, Yahweh, Yahweh, ha, Yahweh, Yahweh. Hey, ha, Yahweh, hey, ha, Yahweh. Donde yo aquí sido me yo hey Yahweh ha Yahweh ha Yahweh Yahweh ha Yahweh Yahweh hey ha Yahweh hey ha Yahweh. Ah, Sean Parker. I don't know if you guys could hear me or not.
We laugh.
Yeah.
We've
So that first song I sung was a Igaze one. It's an ancient song that we used in our Mi'idami watching, our Sundance ceremony, as an entrance song. And it was an ancient song. It's what they call a non-worded song. It's all vocables. And that second song was our children's song that they made when we lost. They said over 500 children. Don't believe what you read in those texts from the government. They said we lost over 500 children on our way, our 2-year trek down here to Oklahoma. Them old men got together and they composed that song for our children that had passed on. That's called Shiga Jingo Won't or She Jingo Won't. You hear it said both ways. Or somebody even say Jingama Won't. Those are all ways to say children's songs. And so when they came down here from up north, they lost so many children and they brought that song. And it's a real, I had to sing that song without crying. That song makes me cry. Those 3 songs have great meaning to me. And all that does is say, it says, these children, God, He gave them to us. And that's a simple song. And that second song, my uncle made that song. My Uncle Henry Collins, he's passed away now. He made that song. That song, it says, Don behind, I'll get it, see there. It says, Father, I remember you. Or some people even say it's translated, Father, I'm thinking of you. And so that's a good, appropriate song. We use that as an honoring song, or some people even use it as a memorial song. But my uncle made that song. All you Poncas have a right to use any of them songs I just sung, because once a song is put on the drum in our culture, it gets put on the big drum, anybody can use it. So when we make them songs, if we put them on a drum, we make a CD and give it to everybody, don't be mad when people use our songs, because I'm going to have to teach you that culturally, or I'm going to let Emily teach you. She's tired. She's been working all day, but Emily is really knowledgeable in our ways too. Some things she's more knowledgeable than me. That's why what I brought to the table is I got a lot of people that's going to help us. It ain't just me. We're going to need Poncas, not just me. It's going to take Poncas to get Poncas back together, Poncas to learn, Poncas to get together to be unified. And I was hoping she'd be awake so she could sing with me, because women sing that part too, that sing these songs with us. And my little sister's on her way to South Dakota to Lake Andes. Her father-in-law passed away a year ago, so they're going up there to have a giveaway, and it's all that snow, and it's getting ready to snow like heck down here tonight. So if you guys can remember my sister and brother-in-law, my nephew and niece, they're all going up that way. They're going to come up there and have a giveaway. And so now back to those possessive pronouns, what we just looked at. Now, when we talk about these songs, how would you use those pronouns that I showed you? When you say song in Poncas, wah, say it, wah,
Wah.
Wah.
on.
Oh.
It's that
Wah.
nose, wah,
Wah.
Wah.
wah,
Wah.
Wow.
wah,
Wow.
wah,
So
wah.
wow. Wow.
Wow.
That means songs.
Wow. Vita.
So when you
Wow.
say
Vita.
these songs are ours, you say it goes back into that deal. We
Wow.
could just use that one. Won't tay. We didn't get to these other ones to show you. I'm going to show you them. Won't tay. That means that pluralizes songs. So before won't is just song. Won't tay is songs.
Wow.
Now won't tay angutai.
Wow.
That means our songs. Won't tay angutai. Our songs. And these other ones I didn't get to show you, these screen things I got here. I'll have to show you, but I'm going to say it anyway. You just say, they are called. They are called won't they? Angutai. These songs are ours. Or you could say, yes, or you could say, They are my want they. These songs are ours, and you can say shout my want they ungutai. Those songs, like you're pointing your finger at somebody. Can you see my hand? Those songs are ours. Shout my want they ungutai. Hey, hey. I said those songs are ours. Sometimes we have to do that with our Omaha relatives. Well, they be trying to claim everything. Oh, you sang a good Omaha song. I can show you when people made that song. The people that were there that made it. No, that's a good Omaha song. But we're going back and forth with our relatives. We'll have good times with them. Everyone we're talking to each other. Oh, kage, oh, kage, the mamliho dishti. And they'll say, dang, they tell us that you speak good Omaha. And we'll be like, you speak good Ponca. We just go back and forth. But it's real comical. And that's what we're going to get today, is our travels are getting better and better to get to that point, to get to the pinnacle of our language. Now she's asleep. Let me see if I can do this without her. I don't know.
Ego, I just want to say, we blow. My dad really enjoyed those songs.
Before this is over, Uncle Ricky, your dad, tell me it's my uncle now. Uncle Ricky, I'm going to sing him a healing song that my grandpa Yellowberry made. Wachanzi, Witigaho. My grandpa Yellowberry made that song. My great-great-grandfather. Go ahead.
He said he would like that.
Eagle Rod, that Ponca Memorial song you sang, I had heard that before all the way up here in Madison, a Ho Chunk drum. I had heard that first, and they said that they called it a Ponca Memorial song, but they were singing it up here in Madison.
Yeah, that song's an honoring song, but like I said, people use it for everything. It's my Uncle Henry, boy, God rest his soul, he made good songs. That was one of them. And let me tell you something, even when you guys get good, all of you start speaking Ponca up there. You're going to have Poncas that's going to belittle each other. And down here, it's like that. We got my other uncle, his half-brother, his name was Harry Buffalo Head. They're both gone now. He used to say, my brother Henry, they got same mom, different dad. He said, he'd laugh. He don't even know the Ponca language. I don't even know why he's making songs. And then, but that's how they talk about each other back then. There's not that many left to say it no more, but I got to hear that when I was growing up. And so, I want you guys to hear a song I made real quick. You guys got time?
Yeah.
Brother, you guys got time? And then when I sung this song to all them old men that are in their 80s and 70s and early 90s and women that heard, they said, where'd you hear that song at? Who made that one? I said, I made that song. They said, them women go, and they said, A China, the men said, A China. I said, I did, really. Tell them, because they'd be amazed at my abilities. Inda kola iwi dombe, inda kola iwi dombe, iwi dombe, iwi dombe, iwi dombe, iwi dombe. Niya shingama, iwi dombe, niya shingama. Nini they take ida should they take iwi dombe inda kola iwi dombe iwi dombe iwi dombe inda kola iwi dombe iwi dombe inda kola iwi dombe Iwi dombe, iwi dombe, iwi dombe, oh hey. Nia shingama, iwi dombe, nia shingama, nini dete, ida shudete, iwi dombe, iwi dombe. Ina kola, iwi dombe, iwi dombe, iwi dombe. That song, it says, Inda kola. That goes back to what I told you, how our language changed. That's the true way. Inda kola. Not kola, not kola like or koda. Inda koda, like the. That's the original way to say friend. And now we say kage or ikage. And then we'll get into all that too. Ikagima, wikage, wikage etai, or nikagima, nikage. You're not ready for all that, but we'll get you there. And so that says, my friend, iwi dombe. That word means I was told to do it like this. Iwi dombe. I was told to do it like this. My friend, I was told to do it like this, and it's repetitive. And then it says, Niashingama. Iwi dombe. It says, oh, it has reference, without saying Ponca Niashingama, just saying Niashingama has references. Oh, Ponca people, I was told to do it like this. Oh, Ponca people, I was told to smoke it in this way. I was told to do it this way. My friend, I was told to do it this way. That's a pipe loading song. And I made that song. I got many songs I made. And so I love that song anyway. I'm gonna sing you one last one, and this one right here. It's our piercing song to our Sundance, and I hope you guys can make it down there. Wakanda wagi dambaga, wakanda wagi dambaga, wakanda wagi dambaga, wakanda wagi dambaga, wakanda wagi dambabe ya hai. Jake hai hamadi, wakanda wagi dambaga. Wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damabe, wakanda wagi damba, wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damabe. Jaki hai hamati, wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damaga, wakanda wagi damabe. That song right there, it says, wakanda wagi damaga. It says, God, look down upon us. Creator, look down upon us. And it says, Jaki hai amati. It says, Creator, look down upon us while we're piercing ourselves. When we're piercing the chest. You know, I'm a sun dancer too. I danced all my years. I'm a Sundance leader for our Ponkas down here. Me and my cousin Mikasi, Brian Hornick. His Ponka names is Donde. I'm a Donde Don't Kuge. That means the land shook so hard like the sound of a drum when the buffalo were running, and it scared the enemy away. You know, them Lakotas. And I'm not trying to talk part Lakota, but we got all our songs, almost every one of them. If they're not talking about killing Lakotas, they're talking about killing Pawnee and a little bit Comanche, but mainly Lakota, not Dakota. I don't know why we always intermarried with Dakota and allied with the Santee and Yankton, but the other ones, it's always been that way. And so anyway, that song has reference to piercing us when we're doing that way. So you guys are welcome to come down at the last week of June. Come down to our land at my grandfather. His name was Tatonga Naji Jinga. Tatonga, no, ji, jinga. Tatonga is another way to say buffalo. Te or tatonga. Both them ways mean buffalo. No, ji means to stand or standing. Jinga means little. So his name is Tatonga, no, ji, jinga. What does that mean? It goes in reverse.
Well,
Huh?
little standing buffalo or standing little
That's
buffalo.
right. Little standing buffalo. That's my grandfather's name. And so that's his name. And he's a son of what they call Tenuga. Tenugazi, yellow buffalo bull. Or sometimes you look on the mole charts, it just says yellow bull. But in the little translations, yellow buffalo bull. And so that's the land we're gonna be dancing on. And I'll try to send you guys pictures up here, upload them so I can show you. Once I get good with messing with this, I got so much stuff to show you guys. I'm gonna overwhelm you. And I got a lot of pictures of things and stuff like that. And then we're gonna start doing I think tomorrow we might work on some body parts. As a little kid, you learn these things. You learn colors. You learn how to count. In Ponca, when you say 1,000, you say kuge. And then when you say 100,000, you say kuge glebahingwe. And then when you say 500,000, you say kuge glebahingwe sata. I have to teach you them big numbers. And some people down here, these Poncas down here, they said, well, they're not going to sit there watching the buffalo and say there's 557,000 of them. I said, but in modern Ponca, we count like that. I mean, modern English, we count like that, so you got to know them. And then all you guys your age, you women don't have to say nothing. But you men, like me, I say, gleba duba, KD duba, bliho. I'm 44. Or some people will say, gleba duba, ki duba, bliho. I'm 44. Either way is correct. So when you learn how to count, when you say 20 in Ponca, 20 is gleba namba. Gleba means, I don't know why we echoing.
Somebody,
You
probably
guys hear
someone.
that echo?
We did. I think somebody muted, so you should be good.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Okay, so listen, in our language, what we did last night, we only did a little bit of counting. And so when you say but also don't forget, when you're counting number one, some Ponca say, Wakchi number, dabli du basata shape, pe number, pe dabli shonka gleba. And some Poncas will say it like this way. We number, dabli du basata, pe dabli, pe don't, pe the, that remember I told you I circled it last night. Some say pe number, some say pe dabli. Or pe number, excuse me, pe number. Say it, pe number, pe number. One's got
A number.
one's got an N sound and one's got a TH. So one's pe number and one's pe number. So that's why I told you you're gonna hear those. You're gonna hear them spoken. So they're all correct. They're not wrong. But that's how you're gonna hear it.
A number.
Yeah. So anyway, but then when you get to the teens, the only two funny things are in the teens is like it goes, ugly. That's 11, and then the craziest number is for number 12 is shape number, and then the rest are all the same until you get to 20 is ugly, duba, ugly sata, ugly shape, ugly pe number, ugly pe dabli, ugly shunka, and now it changes. Glate by number is 20. And then when you say 21, you say glate by number KD we. And then we'll go to 30. Glate by dabli. Remember, you got 10 adding 20, 10 adding the 3 makes it 30. And then 10 adding duba, what does that mean? Look,
40.
that's right. And so when you go to 50, what do you use? Look at your charts. Remember what you guys got wrote down. So you got gleba and you add something to make 50.
Gleba sata.
That's right. That's 50. And then it goes so on and so on and so on until you get to 90, gleba shonka. And then after that, 100 is gleba hiwi. Gleba hiwi. And then when you say 200, you say gleba hiwi namba. 300, gleba hiwi dabli. 400, gleba hiwi duba. You see? Once you learn the system, it's easy.
Does namba mean nothing? Like zero?
Dinge.
I used to hear my grandparents say namba.
Namba means 2.
Does it?
Yeah, it means 2. And when they talk about nothing, they say dinge or dingai.
Dingai.
Dinge.
I know
Yeah.
that, but
Dingai.
That's what we use for 0.
Dingai.
Yep. Dinge, dingai, dinge, dinga, dingai. You'll hear it depending on who they're talking. They're going to say it like that way, 3 different ways, but it's all the same.
Yeah,
So
I've
when
heard
you
that.
get on these
what
numbers,
about we blue guy?
that's $1.
$1. That's what I thought.
Yeah, we blue goes
$1.
That means 1 whole, $1. And you're gonna get into when we get into that money. There's 2 ways to say a dollar bill. You got some old people say, "Monziska gleba number." That's $20. Monziska gleba number, $20. You're gonna hear them say, "Gleba number idawa." Idawa means to count. Monze means metal. But you're gonna hear them 2 ways in Ponca. Monze gleba number. That's $20. Gleba number idawa. That's $20. But you're gonna hear it spoken different ways depending on the fluent speaker. So don't think they're wrong. If you I heard it said like this, then they're both right.
So Monze ska, that's white metal.
Yes.
Monze ska. Monze ska linge means I don't have no money. I'm pitiful, right?
No, that means the money's all gone. When you say I don't got no money, there's 2 ways. When we get into that, section, you say Monziska, oblint Monze, or you say Monziska, Onvinge. Onvinge means I don't got none. But when you say Monziska, Vinge, it's just like money's all gone.
That's like slang too, right?
No, this is slang. Vingabo. Vingabo.
Dingabo.
Bingo.
That's slang for like it's all gone. There's gonna be a lot of that, But it makes me sad when we talk about stuff like this because so many are dead that talk like that. You don't hear them no more. Or a lot of times they'll say ling or thing, ling or thing. Bro, Moses got there. Ling. Shit. Let me take a 5-minute break. I got to get something real quick. Is that okay? You guys practice on what we're talking about. I'm going to sing that song when I come back. I'm going to sing that song when I come back.
I guess while we have a minute, I just wanted to get some of your guys' input on like the 7 days a week. How's that? How do you guys feel about that? Seriously.
That's too many.
That's too many. It's going to be a little rough.
That's too many
I
days.
think so too.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky, so last night we talked a little bit about that. And the kind of what I was going to bring back to the committee on Sunday when we meet was a lot of people like Monday through Thursday doing like 6 to 7:30 because people thought maybe 2 hours was maybe just a touch too long, but people were like 6 to 7:30 would be good Monday through Thursday. And then Friday being like office hours. you know, where like if Eagle Rock could be available for people could come in like Friday evenings, because just Friday sometimes people have more plans than the regular other nights. And then maybe doing something on the weekend that's kind of like just optional, where we could focus more on like songs or cultural stuff that Eagle Rod wants to share with us. We're thinking about that. It would still be language because he'd be using the Ponca language, obviously, but be a little bit more focus on like singing or cultural things like he's talking tonight, the Sundance and that type of stuff. So those were just ideas that we had kind of discussed last night, but I thought that people were saying, pretty much people were saying 7 days a week is just like, that's tough. You know,
Yeah.
that's a lot. But really people felt good about Monday through Thursday, with like Friday being, you know, Eagle Rod, if he wants to be available to us, to people that want to, you know, meet with him, that'd be good. But like the formal class Monday through Thursday, people were feeling good about.
No, I like that. And another idea I kind of had too was maybe even doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, you know, Thursday, Saturday, and breaking them up that way and having him teach the same class on, you know, both Monday and Tuesday. That way different people can show up that didn't show up from the night before, or, you know, there's different things that we can kind of discuss and talk about doing in the future. You know, this is all new and we're kind of just working through this and seeing how it's going, and we can establish some of that stuff as we kind of move forward and get going.
That's not bad. It would probably help too if there was somebody who could, I don't know, I mean, you're doing it now, but kind of balance it, Ricky, for somebody to make sure that they're in to help him with technical stuff. Just
Yeah,
or to
absolutely.
run it or admit stuff or stuff like that. I know you've got stuff going on with your dad, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you guys are aware, but my undergrad is actually education, social sciences education. So, you know, I was training to be a teacher. And so I just don't want people to get burnt out. You know, I know how these things work, and I know how it kind of goes with education and having lesson plans and all that stuff ready to go. And so, you know, I think we'll be here for Eagle to help him. Like I said, you know, this is our first week and we're really kind of just getting the ball rolling and seeing how things are going. So
yeah, so I asked Raven yesterday to, you know, to invite Eagle Rod to our meeting on Sunday, because I think it'll be really good for us all to reflect on like how the first week went. And it's the first week, so I was, you know, because people have a lot of ideas, like, you know, the Ponca Language website, and I was explaining to people, yeah, that's on our agenda to do, but you know, we have to get someone, we got to hire someone that can do that, and the money has to be there, et cetera, et cetera. So I was just trying to, you know, let them know that we are thinking long term about this, but it is a long term thing. You know, learning the language takes a long time to learn it. You know, Eagle Rod is, as you can see, has decades and decades of experience of doing this, and a lot of us are just starting out. So this is a long haul project. You know, this is a long term,
Yep.
years and years to get really to where you know the language. You know, so, but yeah.
And Sean, that's oh, go ahead, Grim.
Ricky. Oh, Ricky, what about dictionaries? I have one, but I mean, how about the rest of them?
So what I'm going to do is
I'm going to get a dictionary.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to order 50 of them. And, you know, these will have to be on loan right now, kind of how we're going to do it. But, you know, it's our goal, like Sean had said, this is a long-term project. And our goal is to, you know, get
we're not going to learn overnight.
No. And our goal is to get people who are taking this seriously, this class, and at this entry level. And we're going to pick, you know, as you go on, you test out, you know, you're going to be considered an accelerated learner at that point, and you will begin to take like the next level type of classes. And those people will, as an incentive, they'll get to keep their Ponca dictionary. And so that's kind of our goal. Those Ponca dictionaries are not cheap, by the way. They're like $50, some of them, you know, so I mean, you know, it's a good thing to have. And as we kind of move forward, you know, that we have a lot of plans in motion, and our ultimate goal is to get, you know, our own people teaching classes at every single site, you know, all across, you know, our service areas. And that's kind of the long-term goal. You know, so we're right here. You guys are a part of history. You know, we're right at the infancy of everything, and you know, at the very beginning of it all. So it's really exciting, and I'm just anxious to see what we end up with here. So.
Ricky, I'm really grateful that y'all are doing this online, because being in South Carolina, there's no way I could get anywhere near to be able to do this. And it's something that, you know, I feel like is really special that y'all are doing it this way, because it really helps those of us who are of the tribe that are scattered and would like to be involved and can't be really any other way easily. So
Absolutely, and that was part of the goal. When I first came in as culture director, I that was one of the things I wanted to look at was how can I reach these out of SDA members? How can we kind of bring them back into the fold? And COVID's been terrible, of course, over these last couple of years, but it has provided other opportunities. And I think one of the best ones is this virtual learning, and just doing things virtually. It's really opened up a lot of different avenues that we have never had in the past. So we're definitely going to keep you guys involved, all the way through. So.
I missed out, Ricky. I don't know all of these people. I wasn't here when they made introductions, kind of, and I like to get to know them a little bit too, so we can all talk and commune together, a little bit. But I don't know how they're all related, or
I don't know if people want to reintroduce themselves. Well, I guess we got some time, or.
Sure, I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm Robin Neville. I am from Rock Hill, South Carolina. I'm below Charlotte, and my grandmother is Hazel Post Coulter, and my cousin is Gary Stoltenberg. So
okay, I'm on a committee with Gary.
Okay.
On the elders committee. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
Rita, and my mother was a Knutson. And
okay.
So I think we all kind of come from the Knutsons, a lot of us, And
Yeah.
my dad was Iron Thunder. He was from Oklahoma. Yeah.
Okay.
So we and I was born down there too, and so was my granddad. So we were supposed to be Southern.
Huh.
Well, my grandpa and dad were Southern,
Yeah.
but I was Northern. My mom enrolled me up here.
Yeah. My mom grew up in Hooper.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
It's a small world.
It is.
How you doing, Debbie?
I'm Harmony Knutson. My mom is Susan Knutson. She's popped in throughout the week. She's in Minnesota. My sister Sierra is in California, studying at Stanford University. She's also been on. She wasn't on tonight. She had class. My grandfather
awesome.
was Starling Knutson. We're related to the Merricks, Pierre, Vincent.
Starling is my mother's nephew.
Okay.
You talking about my Omaha uncles?
Yeah, Omaha. Yep.
Trying to get introduced.
Yeah,
I didn't know all of them, I missed your
Good.
introduction, Eagle. That's why.
Oh, sorry.
So we're related then.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful
I
to meet
forgot.
you, Rita.
Yeah, you too.
I got an old deal when our agency was by the Santee and also in different parts of Nebraska, and then also in the other part of it when we got moved to Oklahoma. There are so many Knutsons in there, so many Iron Thunder. I didn't know that name until here in the past week. When you guys mentioned that, and I'm thinking I never did know that name because I just didn't know it. And now
My grandma was Hinman down there. Hinman, May Hinman.
Yeah, Hinmans. We got a lot of Hinmans down there. My daughter-in-law is Hinman.
Oh yeah, well, we might be related then too.
Yeah, my grandkids are definitely related to you because they're Hinmans on their mama's side.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
Did you know my
Elders
uncle?
Committee is going to try to go to the powwow down there this next year. We're trying to get it lined up where we might be able to go.
We got all kind of dances. We got a dance coming up on the April 16th. A lot of Ponkas are the head staff, head singers, man dancer. Emily's head lady dancer, and I'll probably just go down there and help out. But there's a lot of Ponkas going to that. I'm telling you.
I'm also
I know you guys are way up there, but
Waters too.
we're related then. We got to be related because that Waters is really gives water. They got shortened to Waters. It's Niwai.
Is it?
Niwai, yeah. That's Dikida. Them clans, all our names. that name aren't, huh?
Irene Waters was
Who?
my aunt.
Okay.
Irene Waters. Yeah.
Gone a long time now. But
Yeah, she's been gone.
I want to find out on that name, that Iron Thunder, what clan it comes from. Because see, a lot of these names, I could just hear them and I'll tell you what clan they came from, but I don't. That just shows you. That's what I
You
teach.
know,
Even when I
they
teach
tell us
people. Huh?
they tell us we don't have a clan up here at the Ponca powwow. They told us that we don't have a clan because I've been wanting to know what clan I belong to too. You know, and
Who
they
said
said,
that
"Well,
to you?
you're Knutson, so the powwow committee and stuff." They said we don't have a clan. I said, "Well, we have to have one," but I don't know. You know, I never knew what it
Oh,
was. So
no. You're Rita. You're probably the same as me. We're Wakahebe. Domagongade. And that
yeah,
clan is the newest clan, and that
The
clan is the largest clan amongst us Ponkas from Nebraska to Oklahoma, and that's who we are. We are the largest clan, and the only taboo that we have is
yeah.
we're not supposed to touch blood or mice. But other than that, we can eat any part of the buffalo, eat any elk, eat any deer. We ain't got to worry about that.
Mm.
We just can't touch no mice. And who wants to
Well,
touch
here
mice?
I don't want to touch on mice, but I was a nurse, so I had to touch. You know,
That's what they told us in our taboo. We're not
I
supposed to
took care
touch
of people
mice,
in
and we're
their
not
homes.
supposed to touch blood. So
Yeah.
don't worry. That's what
Well,
we
now I
are.
know.
Robin.
Oh,
Yeah, you too, Auntie. Robin, you and Rita, the majority of us sitting here, we're what our clan is. Wakahebe.
Wahahebe.
that's what they told me. I was
Wakahebe.
white. It said you belong to a white clan or something.
That
Or
don't mean
then,
just
but
white
I don't
clan. That's
know.
used universal. If you're
I
part Mexican, part Pawnee, part Omaha,
yeah.
part Italian, they use that word for everything. But that's what we are. And
Yeah.
there's
My
nothing
Indian
wrong
name
with that
is
clan.
yeah. My Indian name is Badewau. Badewau, Pawnee woman born or something like that. It means
Oh, you said Pawnee, Pawnee, Wa'u.
Badewau.
That's
Badewau. They said.
that means Pawnee woman. We see down here that name has died out. There used to be in the old
Oh
days.
yeah.
There was that. That's a clan name. Uh, hang on. I got that. I got a book right. Hold on. I got a in my writings at my other house. I got over 1,000 names wrote down what clan they come from. Hang on. And you can't
Hmm.
remember them all. There's just too
Well, that's
many.
what they named me when I was born.
That don't mean that you're Pawnee. That's just the Indian name. Like you hear them people
Yeah,
called Ponca Wa'u or
Pawnee woman
Ponca
born
Wee.
or something. They said. I want Ricky to get his name. I don't know if he's going to or not.
Yeah, we talked about it. Me and Eagle a little bit.
Does your dad have a Ponca name,
Yeah.
He does not.
Ricky?
No.
Well, we're gonna have to name him, and then
No.
we're gonna have to name him, and you're gonna follow him.
Yeah, that would be
We're
good.
gonna name him, then we're gonna follow him. All you seniors, and juniors. If your father don't have a name, we're gonna have to name them. Even if they passed away, we're gonna give him that honor to have that name anyway. When I was little, my mom told me, she said that God don't know you unless it's your Ponca name. And I used to think I used to be scared for people. I used to ask my friend, I said, what's your Ponca name? I said, Ijaji, Ditake, Idadama. I said, what's your name? And they're like, bro, I ain't got one. I'm like, oh man, God ain't even gonna know him. You know, when in our old taboos and old way of thinking, I really was thinking God ain't gonna know you without that name. Because usually they waited within the first 4 days and they gave kids their name because back in the old days, if they live past 4 days, most of the time they're gonna live, you know. And so they gave him that name. And little boys always take that name, Mikai, star. That's a little kid name. And then Wate, Jinga, kills small, kills little. I don't know why that's a kid's name, but there's like names that the men have that are little. But once a woman has her name, Pauline, well, that's her name until she dies. It never changes. But a man,
Yeah.
his name changes sometime. Jonathan, I want to learn to play again. I haven't played since elementary. I played 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. I couldn't take the kids teasing me, so I dropped out after the 4th year. I played violin. And Ponca, it's called Jean Iba. Oh, Jean Iba Gizu. Jean Iba Gize. Iba Gize. Jean Iba Gize. That's how you say violin and Ponca. When you don't hear these words no more, that's why we got to start bringing these words back. Even fluent speakers, when you don't hear the language, you lose it. We have to keep talking Ponca, or you're not gonna retain it. Jean Iba Gize. That's a violin. What Jonathan's playing right now.
Yeah,
That's what we do. But anyway, if you guys can and you want to, those of you that are going to Lincoln, Nebraska, I'm going to be there on the 25th. I didn't know if they were going to pay my room or I got to pay it myself, but I'm still going to come no matter what.
No, we pay for that for you.
But
You just
what I'm
you just
saying is, if you ain't got names, let's get an email of a list of our relatives, and let's start naming people. Down here, I name them at our Sundance, and at our dances, I name them. I'm the youngest man that names people down here. I'm the youngest man that does it publicly. And I'm not nobody. But we need to start preparing you men and women to start naming your grandchildren and your children. Every one of you guys have that right to name your children. And Rita, you're going to get there where you're going to name everybody. It might be your calling up that way. Have you elders start getting up there, getting used to seeing these little kids. And a lot of times you see what clan they come from, or you see how their actions are. If they like to run, or jump around, or play around, they take them kind of names. Like my name is Montchujinga. Montchujinga. That's little grizzly bear.
Don't have their names.
Montchujinga.
Montchujinga.
Well, we're gonna start at Robin, Robert, Debbie, Jonathan, Ricky, Uncle Ricky, Harmony, Barbara. I think we got one for Barbara. Sean, Auntie Rita. We're gonna start because that is your God-given right, is to have a punky Jaji. That's your God-given right, and we're gonna. By God, we're gonna start doing.
I would like that very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people want that. We just don't have no one up here to do that right now.
Well, would nobody better to train our class here to start where you guys can start doing that, because it ain't about saying Eagle's going to do it. It's about we're going to teach Ricky, Jonathan, Robert, Diane, Robin, Barbara, Harmony, Debbie, Auntie Rita, Brother Sean. That is your right as men and women to name that, because down here, some women are the only ones that name their families. And down here, some men are the only one that name a family. It just depends on the family's choice. There might be Aunt Rita might be the only one that always names. And then Brother Jonathan, you might be the only one that names your family and your sisters and your other brothers. You might be the one that names all of your siblings. And then somebody might come to you guys. Remember this. Remember what I'm saying. We're talking about culture, because this ain't just language. It's also culture. Now, when somebody wants something from you, they're going to bring you money or Pendleton blankets or grocery baskets or all of the above together. Down here, they do it all above. And then, or when somebody does something for you, like say I come up there and name, you guys ain't got to give me nothing because I'm teaching you guys. But you give, it's customary that you give to the one that's given to you. Excuse me, I had to eat some peanuts while. And but the thing is what we're building, it ain't just our language and our culture, it's a relationship of our kinsmanship. It is our kinsmanship that we're building here. It doesn't matter if you look dark like me. A lot of people look at me. A lot of people say I got Chinese eyes. I was telling me you got Chinese eyes, Eagle. Or, oh, well, you look too white, or you look too black, or, oh, you're this or that. Man, we're Ponca. We come in all shapes and sizes and colors, so remember that. And this is something that I don't mean to offend nobody or nothing, but you know, Barbara here, Barbara Salvatore, that's my adopted sister. You know, she's not Ponca by blood, but I adopted her. I stayed with her, I ate with her, I broke bread with her, and we got that relationship. She's my Witonge. Witonge means my elder sister because she's a little older than I am. Not much, just a little bit. And you women, when you say older sister, you don't say Witonge. You say we jont they. Because there's a masculine way and a feminine way to say it. And a woman says we jont they. A man, we say we tongue for older or big sis or big sister. And so when we get into that relationship part, like I said, as soon as I get a little bit more familiar with this, I'm going to start breaking it down and not overwhelm you, not on purpose, but I'm going to give you all the information you need and help you, but it's how bad do you want it? Because, and like I told you, us that are older, don't think that you can't learn, because it's a proven fact that whenever people that are between their 60 or even 55 to 100, when you're learning a new language, there is nothing that makes the human brain fire up when they do those, I forget that test they call it, but sometimes you barely see it lit up on the brain because they're going brain dead. You know what I mean? Their brain's losing activity. And like my cousin, she passed away today. I didn't even go to her funeral. I just felt too sad, and I prayed for them and did all I could by giving prayer and you know, talking to them and encouraging them. But her kidneys failed, and then her liver failed. And by the time they got to the last step, they said, let's check her brain activity. She was brain dead already. But, you know, the point what I'm using my sister for that passed away and they buried her today is when I did that test, she had no coloration, no activity. But one that even has Alzheimer's or dementia, it's a good technique also doing different brain activities to fire up your brain. It could give it longevity. In the ultimate end, you'll still lose your memory, but it'll help the longevity. But those of us that don't have that or have to worry about that, it strengthens it because your brain is like a muscle. You have to use it. You have to keep learning and doing things and thinking. It's good to do like Sudokus or different training deals, and I'm gonna show you some different training things with our language. And I tell people, a lot of people like to lift weights. I said you got to walk and you got to jog because your heart, you want to speed your heart up and slow it down. That's the strongest muscle you got in your body. And so right here, we're going to work on our mind, and our mind at our age, it's got to be repetitive to retain the language. And so that's what we're going to get at here. And that's pretty good what you guys were talking about, Ricky, you and Sean, about doing that. And like I said, Ricky, just find that there's people that said they want to do single hours as long as I get my contract of the 25 in, so I don't break or over or exceed it.
Right.
You can do this. And some of you, I encourage you to take that whatever Ricky approves, whether it's 1 hour, 30 minutes, or hour and a half. Some of you are going to get that one. And also, we're going to build teachers up there, because the ultimate thing is in your districts and in your homes. In your homes, that's where the greatest teaching of all happens with our families. And so no matter if you teach anybody, you're teaching your children.
Eagle.
Or your children. Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking of too is just opening up like office hours. So like one day of the week where you have like a 4-hour schedule and you just leave it open and people can just jump on and join you and do whatever. And then I wouldn't have to necessarily approve everybody individually. They can jump on there and come to you whenever if they have questions or they want to talk and see you, or however they want to do that.
Well, what about on Fridays? We do 5 hours on that one. From like, say,
I mean,
like,
yeah, we can do that.
Like 10 to 3 or 10 to 5 or 10 to 4, whatever.
Even making it a little earlier in the afternoon or something.
I could do it earlier than that. I'm just saying, I don't know what people's schedules are.
Yep.
But I like that, you know, because I'm like real old guy. I get up early in the morning, sometimes 4:30, and I'm up. Well, I'm an old dude. I get up like the birds ain't even up when I get up. I'm going out there screaming, caw, caw. And remember, we got to learn to use that word, Chana.
Chana.
Chana. You know, 'cause,
China.
I mean, I want to keep saying that to you guys, but you know, because down here, this is common. You know, my nephew, even my nephew, he says, I'll tease him. He said, "Hey, China," you know, because he don't believe me. He thinks I'm lying to him or teasing him or bullshitting him. And so that's what we do. Hey, China.
Hey, China.
Yeah.
What's
It's like,
Ashton?
huh?
Ashton.
That's Omaha use that word for bullshit too.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Ashton.
St. P's use it too.
A lot of times Omaha say Ashtana, Ashtana. But Ponca say Hey China.
Hey,
Hey.
China.
Hey, see, back in the day they were probably the same, but now it's Hey China, Ashtana. Hey China, Ashtana.
Ah,
It's still the same meaning. Oh, but check this out. I got a lot of Yankton friends and Santee friends, and guess what they say? Hey, China, but they say it a little funnier, like
hey, China.
hey, China, or something like weird, like stretch it out a little bit different than us. And it kind of shocked me because I said, hey, China, and they start laughing, you know, because down here we got good relations with them Yankton.
Yeah.
Santee, too. A lot of Yankton come to see us down here often, like traveling. And
My
don't
grandma,
forget,
she was Sisseton, and she used to always say "e" all the time.
remember, we say them same words like that, but that's more of a woman's word right there. They drag it out, or like say we met, say like I'm cutting grass and I accidentally ran a damn dog over, or I'm cutting grass and I ran a chain over. Hoi, hoi. Men say that. It's like damn, like shit. What happened? You know, it's just you got all kind of women. Then the women they do this. I can't do it, but they. And then back in the old days when I was little, you hear all these women lined up. And it sounds like, cause it's so high pitched, and it's like, well, God damn, what happened? What I missed? You know, and you start looking around. And that's what they did. Like, say, man, Joe Blow just got hit by a car. Them days almost over. My sister, she passed away now. My older sister, her Ponca name was Mitane. That means new moon. Mitane. Now, when you would say a new moon regularly, you would say Naamba Tega or Naamba Jega. But when it comes to a female name, the female name in Ponca takes on a president, unlike anything that's it's not it doesn't it's not you guys that are educated, let's see how would you say it? It's not you want to say it's not common, but it takes a pattern that's it doesn't make sense. Like what the hell? But we know it means that. We know what it means. But like how'd you come up with that in a woman's name that it don't make sense to a common Ponca language, but it's understood. Like my mother's name is full blooded, my aunties, and their Ponca name. My mama's name was Baama. Baama. That's what they call it. Dichida Ijaje. Dichida Ijaje. That's a blood clan name. But that's an ancient name that lost its meaning. And then my mother's sister, the one that's still alive, I call her mom. Her name's Beverly. And so anyway, her name is Nonze. But when you hear him talk regular Ponca, it's Nonze. Nonze, but it's really Nonze. And we don't know what the hell that means, but it has reference to metal. Like instead of saying Monze Inze, no Ze. It must be like feet. The feet are like someone hitting metal or something. They're like clanging together. But the true meaning of it, we don't know. But I'm telling you, if you guys can get that list, Ricky, Sean, or Robin, or any of you guys, that Barbara, you guys want to take them on yourself, let's get that list together and let's get these Ponca names going. And Robin, even your husband can get a Ponca name. You know, your spouses, if they're not Ponca, if you want that, we're giving them a name.
We'll give my wife a name over here.
We're giving her a name.
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Hello. But we're going to do that. And remember something. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I have a full name. My name Najee Manshu Namba. Two Standing Bears is the short version of my name.
Bears.
And I was told that it's important that I know my full name. So it was given, it was actually a Lakota roommate of mine a long time ago that had 3 dreams about me and told me that he had these 3 dreams about 2 bears standing facing each other, and there were 7 animal spirits watching the 2 bears, and there were 7 angels watching the 7 spirits. And so when I got on a trip through the Black Hills, there was a chief there, and he prayed about it. And so I went in the sacred lodge there at Bear Butte, and we prayed about it, and I was told I was to keep that name. But my full name, which I do not know how to say in Ponca or Lakota, is 2 bears standing with 7 sacred spirits. And I would like to learn how to say that in a proper way, because that is a name. And so I had a feather hung on my head in a naming ceremony up there, which I'm very thankful for. I was the only Ponca. There were Ojibways, Anishinaabes, and Lakotas, Dakotas. They're all wonderful. But that is my name, and that's something precious, sacred to me.
Well, remember, this is recorded. That's your real name. It's Manchu, Noji, Namba, Nonke, Wanonke.
Wanonke?
You said there's 2 bears facing each other with 7 sacred spirits?
Yes.
Okay, it'd be Manchu, Noji, Namba, Wanonke, Wakube, Hey, Namba. So all you're adding on is Wanonke, Wakube, Hey, Namba.
Wanonke, is that sacred?
Wanonke is a spirit.
Spirit.
Wakube is sacred or holy.
Yeah.
Hey, Namba. And there's multiple ways to say that, but this is the correct way to say it pertaining to that name.
Hey, Namba.
Listen, that name has a meaning to it. You need to go and do what you're probably used to them Lakotas. They say homeleche, but in Ponca you say najijon.
That's my next step.
If you do that, you go in there and you get time. It don't matter if you want to come down here. I'll put you up.
I need to have
my wife is a Sundance chief is what I am down here. There's 2 of us. My brother, we do that. Mikasiaka, we Steve Wetland, and myself too.
Yeah.
I have that right to give and do that for people down here. I run almost all our sweats, unless you got like a family that's doing their own family. So let me tell you something. I'm not nobody. I never act like nobody. But I earn my right to what I do because in our Ponca, it's called Uba Sera Ata. Uba Sera Ata. And now, Upa Sera, I paid my way.
Yeah.
I earned that right. Each one of you sitting here, man and woman, you got that same thing to earn that right. Sean, Auntie Rita, Harmony, Debbie, Jonathan, you're looking for something. It's coming. Let me tell you something. What you're looking for, you better be ready for it. Don't ask and don't go seek that if you're not ready for it. Because sometimes it's detrimental to your life or one you love's life. Local culture.
Right.
Robert, Diane, Robin, Barbara. All these guys, you have that right to do that. So it's good that you're going to do that. And I support you. But pray about it every day when you get up, face the east. Pray about it. Ask God. Ndabi Hawakonda. Tesu Wahamomle. Dojo. Iwi Konga. Idaski. Idap Hamaji. Tell God, this path I'm traveling down that was given to me is a hard way. But I know that you're going to help me. But I don't know a thing about it. But help me. That's what I just said to you. And you're going to get that one day. And you guys pray. Each one of you pray. Ask God to open your mind, loosen your tongue to speak Ponca. And when we make this dictionary, if you guys get that funding to make a dictionary, we're going to have to come up with words. And it's going to take our minds together. Look what we call a microwave. Uhump, kude. Uhump means to cook. Kude means to hurry up or be real fast about doing it, or quick about it. So uhump, kude, it cooks fast.
I like that.
In our Omaha, in our Omaha relatives, they use this word, Monze, Gigleze. Monze, Gigleze. And I was thinking to myself, what the hell they use that for? And then I thought about, they stuck a metal spoon or a fork in there and it sparked. Do you see what I'm talking about? You ever stick tinfoil of metal in there and it sparks? Well, that's what they must have did because that's the name that they gave it.
Eagle, just I have a question real quick.
Good.
What is like to learn, or to be taught? How do we say it? Because I looked in the dictionary. Is it like wagonze?
Wagonze.
Wagonze. So I was saying it right. Okay.
Yeah, and if you tell somebody to teach me, you say, Ingonzaga. Ingonzaga for the men. Teach me. If you women, you could just say Ingonza or Ingonza. Either way, you women can say it. All you're doing is you're not saying in like you say, or like I could just say Ingonze. She taught me, or he taught me, or it taught me. Ingonze. But when you make it a command, it's Ingonzaga, not Gonze, Gonza. It kills it, changes it to a blunt A. And then the women, you could just say Ingonza, because automatically it ain't Ingonze because they killed it. Because once it becomes a command form, it no longer can be Ingonze. So you women can just get away with saying Ingonza. But if you're like, teach me, damn it, Ingonza.
Iganza.
I get a little bit animated when I talk too. So I like it. But that's what you say. Oh, don't let me forget, it's about time to close up, but I gotta sing a song for my uncle, Ricky. Ricky.
I had one more question. It kind of went along with like the dictionaries. Do we have a Ponca keyboard that we have access to so that when I go back over my notes that I'm handwriting that I can type up, the correct spelling with the Ponca keyboard and keep up
Email me. I'm gonna send it to you. Me and Brent could not get it to work for the life of me. But everybody else and their mama can get it to work. But Eagle Rod on this computer I got. Okay. Everybody else can. I'm going to send you that. I'll email you. And that Ponca keyboard is really the Lakota all-in-one. But that same Lakota keyboard has every symbol that we use in modern Ponca. And there is, and like I was telling Ricky and Sean, I can't remember if I told you too, Sean, but I think I did. Well, you guys got resources up there. Make our own keyboard so we ain't got to use that Lakota all-in-one. Because on that Lakota all-in-one, there's going to be multiple, maybe about 10 other symbols that we don't use. But at least we can still use that. We still got everything we need from that keyboard. But we just need our stuff. Well, we don't have to think about, do I go to this one or do I go to that? We don't need that. We just need one. Down here, these guys ain't willing to make nothing. And my God, let me tell you something. We got 7 council members. Oliver Little Cook is my grandpa. Robert Collins is my cousin. Rod Carney's my full-blooded sister. Judy Big Goose White's my mom's little sister. And then you got Trey Howes, my cousin, through Waters. Aunt Rita through Waters, Giz Waters. And then you got my sister Debbie. Margarine, and she's really fired up to want to do something with the language, but these other guys ain't willing to do nothing, honestly. And I'm not trying to talk bad. What I'm saying to you, I'll say it from the whole council down here. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do the simple things? You got all this extra COVID money that they, well, I'm sure they probably spent it up by now because there was a deadline on it. But the point what I'm trying to say is, damn, let's do something about the language. It's dying. Look, I know we reached over 2 minutes. You guys got time for me to sing this healing song for Uncle Ricky?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Take it over to him.
The reason my drumming is a little bit off is because this drumstick is someone gave it to me. I didn't make it, but usually I use a stick with the leather on it, and I'm gonna make one. I just haven't had time to make one. I gave all my drumsticks to my hand drums to my kids and friends. I make drumsticks and I make drums and hand drums.
He's
But
not
this one,
feeling
a friend gave me, and it's too long. It's not made for this, but it's kind of getting in the way of my pillow. Are you ready, Uncle?
Say it again. I'm ready.
Uncle, are you ready?
Yeah.
And when in Ponca, when you say, "Are you ready?" you say, "Wait, Kiglistan, near." Are you ready? Almost got tongue on here. Negi ka, uwe kong dade huwa kong. Wakega ispo huwa kong. Dijige ka uru he mamdu wa kong. Dijige ijaje dita iwe monka eska betega song. Gama halime ya hai. 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 Wani de halime ya hai. Nia shingama gama halime ya hai. Gama halime ya hai. Gama halime ya hai. Wani de halime ya hai. Gama 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 halime ya hai. Wani de halime ya hai. Nia shingama gama halime ya hai. Gama halime ya hai. Gama halime ya hai. Wani de halime ya hai. Gama 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 halime ya hai. Wani de halime ya hai. Nia shingama gama halime ya hai. Gama halime ya hai. Gama halime ya hai. Wani de halime ya hai. Gama 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 halime ya hai. Oh, Niggy, what's on, Malinga Ho? What's on the call? Voodoo, Haga. Jisiraga. Oh, Uncle,
Thank you, bro.
trust in God, trust in the Creator. Tell your heart to live. It's going to be good for you that way, Uncle. So, Auntie Rita, go ahead and pray us out.
All right.
Special. It's a
Dear
healing.
Wakanda.
Really old.
Dear Wakanda, thank you for watching over us humble people tonight. And thank Eagle for helping us. And thanks to all that are here to learn. Bless all of us with health and wellness. Watch over us tonight and guide us through the night and wake us up in a new day. Praying for all that are sick and for Ricky's dad so they can find out what's wrong and mend it for him. God be with those that are hungry and cold tonight. Thank you, God, for all that you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh.
Amen.
And our language, we have a word for amen. It's called Eska.
Iska.
Eska.
Esta.
It literally means I
Eska.
pray. Eska. It's like the
Eska.
color white. God. Eska.
Iska.
Esta.
That's the word we have to amen.
Esta.
Iska.
And then, and the
Eska.
yeah, Eska. And I'll teach you about when we pray. That's like that when we finish praying in our old way, we say Shana Galtega. Shana Galtega. Or some people just say when they're finished, Shona. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. God willing.
All right. Have a good
Good night.
Good night.